Alright, what's up, y'all? Y'all know what this is. It's Elliot the Unstoppable back at it again, aka Lionel, and welcome to Elliot Speaks. Now let's get into it. Before I get into the topic, let me give you the breakdown. So, before I was born, I don't know if I ever said this in any one of my videos, but before I was birthed, I was in my mother's stomach. I don't know how old I was. My mother said I was in her stomach. And she was walking down the stairs on a snowy day. It was ice on the steps, train steps. My mother slips and she almost falls on her back with me in her belly. So she catches one pole and she tries her hardest to reach for the second pole right beside her. Ooh, I get chills every time I think about this story. Because it's proof, before I continue, this is just proof that my life and my story has a purpose behind it. Even if I did a lot of things that wasn't purposeful, I just know that my life has a meaning behind it. I'm not even really supposed to be here right now so many times, but this is one of the first. My mother is practically, her back is almost splat right on that floor. And she even explained to me how this very fall could have killed both me and her together. Right? She's grabbing on one pole. She's trying to reach the other pole. She's barely touching the other pole like this. Just barely touching it. She says before she can even hit the floor, this man comes behind her and grabs her under her arms and puts her right on her feet. You know what's the funny thing about it? Anybody that knows, listen, I got love for all of the pregnant mothers out there. Mothers, I love you. Because I love my mother, so I have respect for pregnant mothers right now. God bless y'all. And mothers that just had babies, God bless y'all too. Anybody that knows how it feels to try to pick up a pregnant woman, that is no easy task, okay? Let's say that that's some extra weight, okay? Oh man, I remember years ago and I digress. I remember years ago when I was trying to pick up a pregnant friend. And when I tell you it felt like I was trying to lift up a building, that's what I gotta say. You know, my heart goes out to the moms out there. All right, I digress. Anyway, back to the context of the story. So this man comes up, picks her up, puts her on her feet. So my mother turns around to thank that man, and that man is no longer there. And she said from that inkling of a moment, or that spot of that moment, she knew that was an angel that came to save the both of us. And that takes me to my topic for tonight, which is for the king's use. Yes, I understand that, like me, a lot of situations I've been labeled as a weirdo or even someone that is not normal like everyone else and do everything like everyone else. Even at times when I tried to do the things that other people that I thought was cool, I wind up putting myself down, my self-worth or whatever. And even at times when I tried to do these things, I felt the pressure from God, and I've also felt I didn't feel right. I didn't feel right doing these things. I used to always question myself on why don't I have a large amount of friends or anything else. But it came to my understanding that the other day from God is that you were meant for the master's use. Say that again. You were meant for the master's use. All of the people that God separates you from, were meant. A lot of times the enemy will use certain outside forces, i.e. family, friends, relationships, which I have plenty of those, that try to take you away from his presence. Know that God has selected and chosen you for a purpose. He has a major purpose for you, and that's why he is separating you, because how can you actually serve God's purpose wholeheartedly when you're doing other things that everybody else is doing? See, when God has put his purpose into you, which he has a purpose for everybody, for those, but I'm talking about the specific ones that are like separate for a reason. It seems like when you're trying to hang out with certain people, trying to be around certain people, it's not working. It's for a reason. It's for a reason. It's because he has you for a special purpose. I don't know what it is. All I know is, for example, with me per se, God has used me to pray for people. I've seen people saved. Thank God. I have seen people healed. I have been able to minister and tell people, the right words of God at the right time, and it caused them to change their direction. Loving to a lot of people that needed the love at the time, and I'm not perfect. That's okay. I haven't dotted every I and I haven't crossed every T. But one thing I know is, even from now, that God had me for a specific purpose, and once God's mark is on you, even no matter how much you stray, his purpose and what he wants you to do, trust me, that hold is on you. I'm not going to say that other word, but that hold is on you, and it's going to keep on being on you. Trust me, you're going to find yourself drifting all the way out there, but just know, like the prodigal son, some of you prodigal daughters out there, you're going to have to come back. You're going to have to come back, because you have to serve his purpose for your life. I know it isn't fair. I know. Trust and believe. I would like to be doing a lot of stuff that a lot of people out there are doing, but I just can't do it, because after a while, I begin to realize that God has his hand over my life. Not saying that he doesn't have his hand over your life. This is for the specific people that seem like whatever you're trying to do, when you're trying to pursue the things that other people are doing and it's not working, it's being shut down, and you have that inner void that's there. But I'm telling you, the inner void can only be filled if you to spend more time with him, if that's the better words to say. The Bible talks about choosing you for a purpose in the scriptures. And also Isaiah 55:11 says about how the word will go forth out of his mouth and will not return unto him void. And then to know that you have been anointed and called for a purpose. So it's not about you. The gifts that have been given to you specifically, as far as everybody in general, but for you, it's for you to reach a certain type of people. I hope that makes sense. Just don't be discouraged when you're not off. Like when I was in parties and I was hanging out and I was doing all this stuff, and I noticed that I just didn't feel like I was in place, because God had that hold on me. He had that purpose for my life. And that's about it. And just know, Romans 8:8, all things work for the good to them that love God, to them that are called according to your purpose, that's called according to his purpose. So know that he wants you to follow his purpose. He has to shake up your foundation, and that's when the trials and tribulations come, and you have to go through some hardship. But just know that all those hardships are working together with the good to make you even better and to work for your good, and God chastises those who he loves. So I hope that makes sense to you. You are fit for the King's use. So it may seem like you're out of place. It may not seem like everything is working for you. It may seem like you're a little weird. But trust and believe. It's not because you're weird. It's because God has called you for a specific purpose. Like I alluded to before, where I'm really not supposed to be here right now. I'm really not supposed to be alive at this time right now. I was supposed to not even make it to my 30s, but I'm here because God had a purpose for me. Don't fight his purpose. Know that he has a purpose for you, and you're to work the master's use no matter what. He will equip you. He will empower you. He will send you. Just trust him. You're fit for the master's use. That's why everything seems like it's out of place right now. You're fit for the King's use. That's why it seems like everything is out of place right now. But just know that you are for the King's use. And until you grab a hold of that concept and grasp, seek God more, and follow after him, you're not going to find clarification and other things until you submit to him. That's the best way I can put it. Trust me, it's more it's more spiritual logic than it is physical logic. But when it comes to God, his thoughts are higher than our thoughts and his ways are higher above our ways. Okay. I hope that makes sense. God, I hope I said it the right way, like you wanted me to say. Alright, y'all, this is Elliot Unstoppable. Think about that.